Okay, so it looks ridiculous, right? And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Keyboard Wars, presented by RepTheWars.com. I'm Eddie Law. That's just that's Fred Kirby. And we're hopefully gonna get Jeremiah on here at some point. But no, I just want to see if you guys knew about it. So Trump apparently sent this letter to Turkey with telling him, like, let's work out a good deal. You don't want to be responsible for slaughtering thousands of people, and I don't want to be responsible for destroying the Turkish economy, and I will. Then he keeps going on and also the shit, and then he goes, "Don't be a tough guy, don't be a fool. I'll call you later. Sincerely, Donald Trump." And like I first saw it, and I was like, "That's fake. There's no way that's real." And then I went online, and apparently the White House confirmed that was real. You need to read that shit because it's fucking hilarious. I'm not even shitting on Donald Trump right now. I just think it's fucking hilarious. The dude writes letters like threatening letters, like
Listen,
don't be a fool.
Listen, fucking Donald Trump is the goddamn real life's version of Henry Cejudo.
Right. Cringe president.
He's a troll. He's fucking trolling. Like he be saying some wild. Like, whatever. Let's not get started on fucking Trump.
Let's just talk about MMA.
Let's get to the fucking face punching. I'll get that shot out of a fucking cannon real quick talking about that shit.
I'm broken MMA. He's like, is this the pro wrestling chat? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, what's up? Oh, Aaron Robbins in the fucking chat. What's up, dude? MMA Gods is here. Uncle Hank, ELC, Tony's here. Lauda's here. I know I saw somebody else here earlier. Where we at here? Whatever. What's up, fools? All right, we're talking MMA, obviously. UFC. Let's kick off with UFC. Actually, no. Since Unbroken was talking about the what's it called? The pro wrestling thing. What do you guys think about this Kane thing? Kane retiring from MMA, and he left the UFC side testing pool. Now he's over there making millions to fake fight against the guy he beat in a real fight, and Brock Lesnar. Fred, what's your thoughts, man?
Hey man, I ain't gonna be a hater. You know what I'm saying? He didn't seem like he was on an upswing in his MMA career.
Right.
He got starched out by Francis. He was constantly getting hurt. Cool, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I ain't gonna be a hater. I don't know how great he'll be at that. I mean, I know he looked good. I know he can actually wrestle a little bit, like he can actually perform the moves a little bit. But can we picture Kane doing a promo? Like, can we picture Kane doing the Ric Flair and carrying on? Like, he couldn't even cut a promo in fucking like real life. I love Kane, but like, I don't know. I don't know how that's going. But more power to him. Congratulations.
Right. Look, I'm never gonna hate on anybody making money. I mean, making money. I never hate on anyone making money, especially for something like that. Like you don't actually have to get punched in the face.
And he is getting old. I mean, his fucking beard's getting gray and shit. So, like, for all of me at this point, I think it's safe to assume his best years are behind him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know.
And look, it's not like he's gonna fucking like you said, he's not on the upswing whatsoever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got starched by Francis Ngannou and then blamed it on his knee. So it's like, nah, dude. I think it's over. I did see video of him doing like jumping off the rope and shit in some promotion on Twitter or whatever. He looked like he could fly, so he looked all right. Jesse, you there? Jose. You're muted, because you're wondering.
Yeah, he's probably getting mugged or fucking.
Yeah, please don't fucking die live without showing the video.
Beating his fucking snake over there or something weird.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of friggin' LA right now doing that shit. So anyway, here we go. So MMA Gods says, "Go get your money. I don't watch, but I'm not a pro wrestling fan. I'll be honest with you. If he gets on some of those like pay-per-view things, I'll find a stream. Why fuck not? We got to see his last fight in Phoenix and Eddie. Yeah, we did get to see it, and unfortunately, it didn't go well. And Ngannou's power changed his life. Yep, it damn sure did. Artem for VP. Okay, explain that one, Uncle Hank. Oh shit. Okay, he disappeared.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Fucked up. Well, before we get off of this, what about Tyson Fury?
That's weird. Like, because I didn't watch it.
Making this push for all these real combat sports. So, what about that? Now, I don't want to get too caught up on this, and we'll get to everything else here in just a moment. But is this all not a little fucking weird to you? Like, the lines between real combat sports and sports entertainment have never been more blurred. Right. How do people take that seriously? Like, on one hand, I kind of get it. And to be fair, let me tell you something, Jack. I ain't watched WWE since it was WWF. And I'll tell you something. shout out to the MMA nerd and a few other cats on Twitter that are like big fans of wrestling.
Mhm.
They've been sharing clips of this fucking dude called The Fiend.
Okay.
Fucking guy's kind of interesting. I can't front. Like I low key see these things. And anybody who used to watch wrestling back in the day, you remember Mankind
Yeah.
and how fucking weird and deranged it
Weird,
looks
yeah.
like Mankind if he was like big and bulky and on steroids. Very
What?
weird,
Yeah.
kind of. It's very.
What the hell happened?
Well, what?
I leave the show and you guys are talking
Okay,
about
dude.
Mankind.
Well, here's fucking why, dude. Here's why. Because we're
No.
talking
I
about.
heard. Wait.
Go ahead,
I heard
go
the part
ahead.
about Kane and all
What'd you
that
think?
stuff.
Yeah, well, so hold on.
Yeah. Finish your thought.
So we were talking about Kane, and then I mentioned Tyson Fury, and now I'm just mentioning the fact that it seems like WWE and real combat sports are more intertwined now, almost more than ever. It seems weird to me though, like Kane shoots a double leg and he's doing this weird ground and pound on Brock, but yet we all know it's horse shit and we know it's like meant to look real, even though we all know it's. I don't know. I'm having a bit of a strange conundrum with it, especially mixing in a Tyson Fury. Like there's all these wrestlers holding Tyson Fury back and shit. It's strange to me a little bit. Like
Is it though?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I seem to remember when Mike Tyson also did something like this in the WWE
Right.
back in the, I think it was in the 90s maybe, where
Okay,
he
fair
went in
enough.
there.
I guess they do that from time to time, but I guess with Kane doing it all at once, it all feels like there's a big push. And then Brock having went there and then come back. I mean, Brock
Yeah.
wears like MMA gloves when he fights now. It feels very strange now. Like there's this weird kind of, we're gonna make it look as real, but we all know it's not real.
Yeah,
Like why put the MMA gloves on when we all know this is horse shit?
well, I mean, you have to think what they're going for is to give that aesthetic, right? They want to make it a big show. They want to make it exciting, right? And so the only way you can keep doing that year after year after year after year is to bring these guys in that are legitimate fighters, were legitimate fighters, pay them the big bucks to fake fight, right? Like to
Right.
just kind of give their fighters or their entertainers, not fighters. I shouldn't call them fighters. They're entertainers that clout, right? Like that. Oh, Brock Lesnar used to be a UFC heavyweight champion, and like he does things that other wrestlers don't do, and it just gives them that extra little like I don't know, like that appeal. But I think the other thing that you were saying is you can't picture Kane cutting a promo because he never did it. Do you think you could see someone like a Brock Lesnar cutting a good promo? He doesn't. He's not very good at it.
Does he not
but
like
he's
not
very
talk at
successful.
all?
Exactly.
That
It's not necessary for a guy like that to actually cut his own stuff. Because here's the thing, Fred. Like you said, we know it's fake, right? So there's some very, very talented writers in the back that are going to write some stuff for him. Either that, or they're just going to get some little guy to come in and talk for him.
Okay.
There's ways around it.
Okay, fair enough. And listen,
Exactly.
I want to get the fuck away from wrestling because this is not a wrestling podcast, and I am not the biggest fan of wrestling. And so I don't want to keep going on this, but I think Brock Lesnar is way more capable of cutting a promo than Kane. I mean, have you seen Brock Lesnar? Do we remember him? What the fuck? He cuts the shit out of a promo from what I can remember.
Do you remember the Bud Light Don't Pay Me? Was it Bud Light Don't Pay Me or whatever that he said in the octagon?
Was everybody?
Yeah. He said Bud Light won't pay me, so I'm gonna drink a Coors Light.
A Coors. I still remember the way he pronounced the end of the fucking word. A Coors Light.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Look, it's not the best sounding.
Actually,
promo.
To be fair, Brock's promos were lit. He used to pronounce everybody's name so wrong.
Oh, fucked up.
And guy needs a piece of shit.
Frank Murr.
Piece of shit.
Frank Murr was my favorite. Frank Murr.
Can't pronounce the word.
You know what?
The biggest, dumbest hillbilly in the world, boy.
You know what? You turned me around, Fred. You're right. I miss that guy.
Fair. Good point. All right. Fuck wrestling. Let's get the fucking. Listen, congratulations to Kane. Bid farewell. Good thing. Good on him. He's getting that money. Congratulations.
Wrestling is like pop music, and MMA is like the underground music.
Oh man,
it's evening up a little bit, but it's for another time, I guess.
So does that make us hipsters when we're like, oh yeah, we knew Kron Gracie before he got into the UFC?
Let's see if it's gonna work. Let's see if it's gonna work. Jeremiah plugged in here, but we're getting a circle. You guys see that?
Yeah, I see the circle. He's loading.
He's loading. He's in the middle of nowhere though, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Yeah. So here we go. Bring back the Bushwhackers, Butch and Luke.
God
Vince
dang.
was making the money too good to say no for these guys. Yeah, dude, and fucking to not actually get kicked, the shit kicked out of you. Cool.
Yeah, and look at Ronda Rousey now. Now she's on what is it, that 911 show on Fox?
I saw that.
Opportunities.
My kids watch that shit, and they were watching. My girl watches that shit. She's on there, and I'm like, oh, she still can't act. All right, cool.
But that's the thing. You're given opportunities. Look at all the wrestlers that have transitioned to movies and stuff. It's a good thing. Like, I know, Eddie, you're a fan of Kane, and him being a success from here and now translating over there. I mean, we all got to be happy for the guy, right? Like, he's getting a second chance at making that money.
Right. All right, folks. Let me introduce our fellow. He's from the Hardcore MMA show. Jeremiah, what's up, dude?
What's going on, peeps? Can y'all hear me good? I got these big goofy ass headset on.
Damn, fucking Jeremiah done fucking came up. Can we hear you? We hear you crystal clear. I can see your fucking beard.
I'm about to get it going right here. Watch this. Damn, boy.
Oh,
damn.
He looks like he just came off a Fortnite tournament and shit. Like
that.
Hey, these are my son's gaming headphones.
Yeah.
Fucked around and came up on us one time. Smile and everything. High def camera. Okay.
Y'all can hear the slang.
Right
Perfect,
here.
man.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
All right. Hey, Jeremiah, how you been, man? Are you still doing shows or anything?
I'm about to come out of retirement, man. I got a little burnout on it. You know how it goes. Took a little hiatus, but I'm about to come back out.
Integral fighters is a pain in the tits, man.
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's difficult keeping up with it and keeping up with their schedules. And you have to respect their schedules. You understand that, but it's fucking difficult. I was talking to somebody about that today. Like, I really enjoy doing podcasts like this because it's very enjoyable. I love talking to the fighters when I used to, but boy, it's stressful. So much funner to just tune in with you fucks and say whatever the fuck I want.
I mean, you know how it is when you first start interviewing fighters. You like all starstruck. Now it's just like whatever, man. And like you said, dealing with a fighter's schedule is fucking nuts, man.
It's a pain, and you've had some good fighters on the Hardcore MMA show, so like you, in order to get a big fighter, you got to sometimes cancel week after week to finally get that fucking Max Holloway interview.
Yep. Yeah, I'm about to jump on Jens Pulver's Twitch channel and start breaking down some fights with him, and then he's going to come over and cross promote and do a couple shows with me. So that's awesome.
That's good shit, dude. That's good shit. I didn't even know he was doing Twitch. Is he play or he just talking?
He just breaks down. He does all the Street Beefs fights and UFC fights. He just breaks them all down.
Is he doing like that one guy where he's pretending to play the fights as he's watching them? Because that'd be dope.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite streamed event ever because the guy's like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "Oh, he was controlling shit," and we're watching it. What fight was that? Was that Ortega Holloway?
I think so.
It was a good one. That's all I remember because he was reacting so well to those fights. Like he didn't even know what was going on. It was hilarious.
You got past that UFC. UFC has this one dude that goes around striking everything, copyright striking all this shit.
You mean Brendan Schaub?
Brendan Schaub, yeah. Like, what do you think about Brendan Schaub, Jeremiah? So we have you on. We never got to ask you.
What do I think about? I can't stand him. About like everybody else.
Yeah, dude. Brendan, and then Brendan fucking tweet. I don't know where he said it. I can't watch. I can't listen to his voice at all.
No.
But he went on somewhere. He was like, Kane's gonna be on the PEDs, and I'm like, okay. So
it's like
who fucking cares?
It's like he doesn't even watch MMA anymore. You know what I mean? He's kind of clueless on some of the shit he says.
That's what I think. I really don't think he does. I think he just does. He just goes to fucking whatever website he goes to, bjpen.com or something, and goes off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for real, I think that's what he does. This is me. All right. Let's talk some MMA, though. This last weekend, UFC Tampa. Yeah. Headline, Joanna Jay check-ins, Michelle Watterson. I was hoping, I was wishing, I was praying Michelle was going to pull it off somehow, some crazy shit. The whole fight, I'm like, okay, she didn't get finished this round. Next round, she's going to catch her with some crazy spinning heel kick right to the fucking chin, knock this bitch out in the night, and get a title shot against Zhang, where it's going to be another monster. Not the second round. Okay, cool. The third round, she got that shit. She's gonna fucking oblique kick her knee, blow that kneecap right out, and then fuck her up on the ground. By the fifth round, it was over. Like I already knew. I mean, it was probably over from like early, but fucking hell. So
that choke was close. She had her chance right there.
She had her chance. That was like the one shot she had. And I mean, you got to give her chance. Give her a lot of credit for even getting in there. But let's start here with Fred real quick. Fred, what'd you think of the fight and your the prospects of Joanna against Zhang for the title?
The fight was good. I guess it went somewhat how I expected. Like you, I was rooting for the Karate Hottie because something about Joanna just rubs me the wrong way. Her fucking that weird little staring she does, creeping towards the octagon. Now she's got those fake tits. It's just the whole thing for me with her. She is fucking wild though, yo. You remember the reporter? The reporter was asking about her weight, and she was like, "How do you know if you will wake up in the morning?"
Like, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Joanna's fucking tripping. The fight was good. I tell you what, I feel bad for the Karate Hottie because I feel like since she's gotten to the UFC, she hasn't had the ability to compete at her natural weight class.
Wow.
She's an atom weight, bro. She can make 105 without even hurting herself, I think. You know what I'm saying? So Joanna looked great. I think she did it against a girl that's small for the weight division. Now, not trying to take anything away from Joanna's skills, because I think Joanna's probably the more skilled striker and fighter as well.
Yeah.
But moving forward to the fight with, how do you pronounce this broad's name? Weili Zhang. I do love that fight, and I do think she should get it too. I know Tatiana Suarez is out there, but I think they should go ahead and put Joanna in that fight because listen, if we're going to milk the Joanna cow, now's the time. If we're going to give her another title shot, might as well do it while Thug's not in the picture. If Thug Rose does not want that fight with Zhang, I think you run the fight with Joanna, and I think it's a good fight because it's a really good test for Zhang. Now, we all know Zhang looked good against Andrade, but to keep it a buck, she kind of landed a few good punches. And as we all know, it only takes one or two good punches to change the whole fucking complexion of a fight. Not to say that it was luck in any way, but a fight with Joanna will fucking certainly put that to the test. And if she does that shit to Joanna, if she starches her out in the first or second round, then we can all really fucking get on that goddamn Zhang bandwagon. So good shit for 115 overall, though. And a great, as much as I don't like Joanna, really, she ain't my cup of tea. Good fucking performance from her.
Right, real quick. Tony says that Schaub sucks. He used to be a fighter, and his boy Count is better takes. Yeah.
Yep.
And then here's a question right here: can the UFC ever pull off an atomweight division? Highly doubt it.
Yeah.
Yes. But it'll be a while. It'll be a while.
Long ass while.
There was a point in time where I didn't think we'd see broads fighting in the UFC. I sure as fuck didn't think there'd be. How many fucking 145 girls are there right now? And we built that division. All it really takes is one star. All you need is one little fucking Asian female Conor McGregor from fucking South Korea or some shit. And they'll build an atomweight division just for her. I do think we're a long ways away from it, but it's definitely possible.
All right. Continuing on here on the Joanna thing. Jesse, would Joanna take it? Okay, she's expected to get the title shot, right? What do you think? How do you think she does against Zhang?
Yeah, I agree with Fred. I think it's an interesting test for the champion, but it all depends on what Rose is doing, right? I think we've seen that she's kind of training a little bit. She's kind of doing a little bit of stuff, but it just doesn't seem like she's eager to get back in there. And if she's not, then I don't think anybody, the UFC especially, should pressure her into doing anything. Just have her take her time to come back, because we want her to be at her best when she gets back. That loss was pretty devastating to her. So, like if that's the case, I think Suarez is still injured, right? Some sort of back or some sort of injury that she's still nursing. So, I mean, you basically have to put Joanna in there and really see how that goes. It'd be interesting where they would try to book that. If they would try to do that overseas or here in the U.S. I could actually see them going back to like China again or something like that and doing another event for Zhang and having her defend her belt out there. But who knows? But I think it's a good test to put her through at this point.
Yeah, I mean, do it in China and get LeBron to put the belt around the winner just to make it fun. All right, Jeremiah with Michelle Waterson. It's kind of hard to believe that she's gonna get another run at the title here, unless someone gets injured. What do you think?
I think that was her one and only shot. Like y'all said, she's really an atom weight. When she had that choke, she's just not strong enough to pull it off. I mean, she had position and everything, and plus Joanna is pretty freaking big for the division. But is Tatiana hurt right now?
That's from what I mean. I've heard the same that she's injured. I'll find out right now.
Yeah, I believe she said she has some sort of back injury that she sustained when she was wrestling, and it's just kind of been like egging her for a long time, and I think she's trying to just heal it up before she goes for a title shot.
She is fighting neck injury and disc issues. So yeah, neck and back.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I know Joanna is ready for the title fight right now, and I don't think Rose would take it. Do y'all think Rose will take it? I don't think she will.
I think she's gonna. I don't think she wants to fight again. That's just me.
I think if Rose won that fight, we'd know by now.
Yeah, by now.
I think it seems like it. And y'all already know what time it is with Rose, man. God love her. She seems like mentally sometimes she seems like she's like a female Diaz cousin or something.
Right.
Like, she's just too real for this game. Like she seems like she has moments where she's just like, bro, I'm cool on everything right now. Like all the attention. Like I just want to fuck off and hang out with Pat and not like. It doesn't seem like she wants that fight right now. So,
and I think we talked about it before her last fight that all she really cares about is having enough money for her ranch to kind of grow her food, her weed, and just live that life, that like simple life. I guess you could call it simple, more like hippie lifestyle. But I think her goal was that, and it seems like she's kind of achieved that. So I don't see anything really calling her back to do anything unless, for some reason she just wants to like blow her money on cocaine and stuff and then has to come back.
Rose want to play the piano, have babies.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Tatiana and Joanna go at it for a shot at the belt, but it's really nobody else to give it to. So
dude,
I guess I'm game for it.
Tatiana would fucking turn into a pretzel. Jesus, that'd be a fun fight to watch.
It would be.
I would enjoy it. Tony says, I want Weili Zhang to beat JJ, but she's never seen championship rounds. Yeah, but she's still pretty damn new to the UFC. I mean, she got a title shot pretty quick.
Right. But that's what's great about the fight. She's somewhat unproven. So let's go. This is how we figure these things out. Like, only one way to fucking, you know what I'm saying, find out for sure.
Did y'all see that video? Hold on. Sorry, Eddie. Did y'all see that video of Weili hitting pads the other day?
Yeah, I did. Oh, fuck that.
She's fucking fast too, man.
Yeah, she's fast and crisp, dog, for sure.
Got a good ground game.
That's what ended up winning her the fight. Her speed, she was able to just like get off real quickly on Andrade. It's like we're all saying. I think the thing we're all saying is it's an interesting challenge for her that is kind of unproven to a lot of people. Go up against such a seasoned striker that we've seen her through 5 rounds, through so many title fights in JJ, and prove that she is the best, right? It poses an interesting challenge on both aspects because we don't know how much more time Joanna has to keep doing this, even though she looked great in her last fight. And then Weili Zhang, if she's really that new era and she's going to just bring in like this new way of fighting at that division.
Well, I tell you what, and I usually don't like doing this because I ain't the X's and O's guys. Like I fuck that shit up a lot. But for me, Thug outboxed Joanna, right?
Oh yeah.
Like she hurt her with her hands every time. Every time she really hurt Joanna with that fight, it was because she outboxed. I know she threw some kicks, but primarily she outboxed her. I know MMA math don't work like that, but generally speaking, if Thug could outbox her and knock her out, one's got to think that Zhang could probably outbox Joanna. It don't seem like one would think. I mean, again, I ain't the X's and O's guys. I ain't Luke Thomas. I haven't broken it down to the T, but just off the top of my head, it seems like Joanna, at least for that first round or two, better be careful with Zhang and them close counter exchanges. She's fucking, her hands are fast and she hits real fucking hard for that division.
Right. Raider was super excited in the fight because she came with this. Joanna back to fuck some, broads up again. She's down with that. And by the way, she's super excited Jeremiah's here. What's up?
Let me ask you guys this. I'll pose this question to everybody here. Do you think that the fact that Rose was so well-rounded that the danger of going to the ground and all that stuff is the same reason why she was so successful, and why it also is kind of an interesting fight for her to fight Zhang, in the fact that she's also pretty well rounded. We've seen her, dominate in some takedowns, do some really good work on the ground. So do you think that's where we're kind of seeing this, where it could pose a lot of problems for JJ?
I would rather see Rose get the shot out of any of them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think she's got the best chance all around out of anybody that we've talked about.
Yeah, I agree. But again, with Rose, it depends on where she's at mentally. If she wants that shit, she goes into camp and she says she wants her belt back. Y'all bitches better get ready.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if she's on the fence or she's not there mentally, then it's a whole other different ball of wax. For me right now, it's like I'm kind of excluding Rose because I haven't heard nothing from her. So I'm just kind of assuming she's on the back burner for now.
Yeah.
Look, man, I say this all the time, but MMA is a very much what have you done for me lately sport. Right now, we all on Joanna's tits.
Joanna.
They put in work on Karate Hot. Exactly. So unless like Thug Rose says something and throws her hat out there, low key, we're gonna move on without her.
Because up until the slam, Rose was on her way to having one of her best performances against.
She was picking her apart.
You know what I'm saying? She was looking good as fuck, man. Like looking real good.
Yeah, I mean, and it to me that fight almost looked like Rose's quickness against Andrade. She was just as quick to me as Joanna was popping off jabs in Michelle's face. Like Joanna was way quicker.
Yeah, she was
in every aspect. I mean, we all knew that Michelle's best shot was to take her to the ground and everything, and she got her chances, didn't work out. All right. Suarez is fucked. I know many wrestlers that got their next fucking can't go anymore. Apparently, someone here earlier posted that here it is. God said that she said that Tatiana will be out until beginning of next year. Sounds like she'll need surgery to really fix it. Not good for her. Hopefully not. That would suck. Neck injury, back surgeries and neck surgeries is like scary.
It is scary, but I mean, I'll even though I don't think anybody here likes this guy, but Tito Ortiz has been the shining example of how neck surgeries and back surgeries actually can actually help you out. Like, he went through all that stuff with his neck and everything. He got everything fused. He got everything fixed, and he's still fighting to this day. He's going to have a fight in a couple weeks here. So I don't think it's as scary as it was back in the day. But yeah, it's definitely something where it's like you have to really be cautious of what you're going to do and like if you're going to continue on the path, because she's been wrestling since she was a little kid, right? It's all that wear and tear on your body that just messes you up. As you know, Eddie, what we were just talking about earlier, like us running, like you can feel the wear and tear on your body, even though you're not doing as much work or like damage to your body as a fight. Like just all that training and stuff can really break down your body really badly.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself. Go ahead, Fred.
What she needs to do also is get it fixed. Stop fucking about with it.
Right.
Like don't fucking half-ass it and then take another fight. Like go ahead, take the necessary time off. If you have to get surgery, that sucks. If we don't see you till next summer, that's horrible. Get it fixed. You're in the prime of your career. We're talking about you for a title shot. Like don't let this fuck around and ruin your career or something. Like get it dealt with now.
Fucking Dana was going on. I was like, Joanna has to pay for her new boobs. And Rose has the best footwork. Rose has amazing footwork.
She does.
Jesus. MMA guy says, if you want to call that fight against Chuck a fight.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was weird. And they're probably not done doing that shit, okay? Doing shit like that all the time. We're about to get, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, Tito and
Alberto,
whatever he calls himself these days, Patrón or whatever. Anyway, all right. Let's talk about the co-main event of the night. Cub Swanson gets a decision over Cron Gracie. Cron Gracie was like a rock'em sock'em robot, just kept coming forward and eating shots. But Cub played it right, scored all the points and shit. Yeah. I was bummed out. I'm a Cron Gracie fan, so I kind of fucking sucked to see. But once you got through the second round, or like halfway through the second round, you kind of knew what was going to happen. But Fred, you look like you have something you want to say about this one. What you got?
Yeah, well, I'm just wondering, man. Like, okay, a couple things here. A, do they have some particular hard on the Gracies? This is with like inviting wrestlers or something into their camp to help them work on their offensive takedowns? Because, listen, I know Cub. Look, I get it. Everybody used to fucking wrestle in college or high school. Like everybody seems like they got that little accolade. Like he used to wrestle back at Arizona, whatever the fuck. Cub Swanson's fucking defensive wrestling is not Habib level.
Right.
Like he can be taken down. It's just that Kron Gracie apparently doesn't have any sort of like offensive wrestling takedown maneuvers, like or whatever they was. They were not effective at all. And my second thing with that is, I guess, why the fuck not? Like, why the fuck is Kron Gracie not drilling takedowns with the likes of a Ben Askren or a Jordan Burroughs or whoever the fuck, a Chael Sonnen? Like, every time I see one of these guys with this amazing BJJ and no sort of like offensive wrestling to get the fight where they want it, it always baffles me because it's like if Kron Gracie had Colby Covington or Chris Weidman's takedowns, do you realize how impossible it would be to deal? Like, all due respect to Cub, he would have, like, if he could have just ran up on Cub, and clearly the cocksucker can take a beating. So if he just knew, if he could have got a hold of him, pulled a Habib, got on top of him on the ground, what are we talking about? Minute and a half, 2 minutes, and Kron submits him relatively easily. If time, and that's everybody in the world. If Kron gets on top of you, he's probably going to submit you if he can pull you into his guard. If he gets on top of you on the ground, you are in deep shit. Like if Kron Gracie just had extremely good wrestling, he'd be such a different fighter. All right. All that being said, shout out to Cub Swanson. Shout out to the old dog that goes to show you don't be fucking taking those old veterans lightly. A tough, gritty veteran that knows how to not get taken down to the mat and can throw them fucking things.
Yeah, here's the
Very
thing.
good point, MMA God. Yeah, he did. He showed us his weaknesses for sure.
Well, let me guys ask you this: does it seem to you like the Gracies, all the Gracies that we've seen fight in any organization, they all kind of seem like they want to prove that they can strike, that they can fight without the jiu-jitsu, right? It all seems like they want to do stuff that they're not so good at, right?
Why don't they start wrestling?
So
prove that.
But to me, it seems like they want to prove something that we don't want them to prove, right? Like the plan for him, and this is Monday morning quarterbacking here, but the plan for him should have been to use his footwork to cut off the cage on Cub, make that cage into such a small area where he can't get away from him, grab him and take him down, right? Like that's what everybody's idea should be when you're the level of grappler as a Gracie, right? Kron Gracie especially. But like in that fight, it just seemed like he was content with like trying to outstrike him, trying to bob and weave and like try to like, I don't know, like get into an MMA fight. And I understand it's MMA, whatever. But I mean, this should have been more of a grappling match, more so than an MMA fight.
Okay,
so you guys not find that?
Here's and just piggybacking off your point. When I was watching the fight, the whole time I'm like, oh, you could drop here now. All right, you can shoot here now. All right, you can. Okay, I've seen Kron in ADCC and other tournaments. He has takedowns. He prefers usually not necessarily to pull, but he prefers to do. I mean, he just likes to control exactly where the fight goes when he wants to. He's really good at that. But he can take motherfuckers down. He's done it. I've seen it a million times. I think he wanted to come in and beat him at his own game. Everyone said that Cub's a better striker. He was, and I think Kron Gracie came in like, well, I'm going to show you. You know why? Because Hickson Gracie used to do that, right? So then you get through the fight about near the end of the second round. You know what he started doing this shit? He started doing? He would take shots. He would cover up like this. You know who else does that? You know who looks like this? Nick Diaz. Nick and Nate Diaz do that. All right. They walk forward with their hands like this, blocking all the shots from the sides and whatnot, and eating uppercuts. Those guys eat uppercuts all the fucking time, right? And but and so to me, it was that. It was his Kron going like, I'm gonna beat you with your own shit, and it didn't work out. You know what he started doing? Trying to pull fucking guard. Finally went to his game, tried to pull card. Too late. But it was hard to pull guard in MMA, by the way.
Yeah,
very hard. But you're already sweaty, you're already broken and tired. What the fuck?
It's a fine line with those jiu-jitsu aces like Kron when you're training. It takes a lot of work. I guess they're so confident in their ground game that when they're training, they're primarily training on their striking so they don't get tuned up on the feet. You know what I'm saying? It'll take a lot of work. It'll take a lot of work. Either you train your striking so you don't get tuned up. Like Fred said, the first thing I would do if I was a jiu-jitsu ace like that, I would learn a takedown. Nate Diaz, He don't have no takedowns.
He don't really shoot
If
ever.
he did, no, he don't ever fucking shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What Nate and Nick mostly have is these trip takedowns, right? Body lock, trip takedown right on top of you, and he does it all the time.
But to be fair, they've got really good hands.
They got incredible.
They've got legit serviceable hands. All due respect to Kron, his hands look okay, but you know, not a Diaz brother caliber. That's what makes them special fighters. They could actually probably do okay in boxing. I'm not a retard that's going to go off, jump out the window. They could be champions. I don't know about that, but they could legit compete in the world of boxing for sure. Yeah, that's how good their hands are. Right, right.
So let's see. Tony Hector says Kron only had duck unders in the clinch and takedowns against the fence. Couldn't get Cubs back against the cage. Cub is a legit black belt jiu-jitsu, ladies and gentlemen. So that was going to be hard either way. But he also waited quite a fucking while to even try that shit, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, but let me know. But I think it was like later in the fight that he tried that.
That's a fair point, too.
That's the thing. I mean, I think the frustration comes in where we know what his game plan should be and how he should try to implement the game plan. And it's obvious, that the jiu-jitsu guy that's, so decorated is going to get you down and try to, submit you.
Right.
But you have the example in Khabib. Everybody knows what Khabib's going to do. He's going to wrestle you. He's going to take you down and beat you up. Right. But how many people can stop that? Not very many. Why? Because he sticks to the basics. That's his bread and butter. He doesn't try to get out of that unless, he takes those little risks, but they're few and far between. And that's what makes him so good. And Kron Gracie, as we're talking about, he just assumed that he could, sit in the pocket and outstrike a guy. And then eventually he was going to be able to wear him down and take him down. That's not how this works, man. Like, you got to stick to your bread and butter and then, pepper in the risky stuff later on.
All right. MMA guy says Cubs are better when the BJJ black belt too. Got to give Cub credit. 100% deserves it.
That's what I was just fixing to say. At the end of the day, too, like, as much as we love, I like to like a guy like Kron. I like a guy who's young, who's got a specialty. Like, I wanted to give him the credit, and I find myself leaning towards him. But you got to keep it a buck. Maybe Cub's just a better fighter.
Yeah, I mean, right now,
up. Period.
Look at the experience level. Look at the experience level alone.
Like, he didn't beat the better fighter. He beat him over the course of 3 rounds. He didn't land one lucky punch. He avoided the takedown. He took some punches from Kron. Maybe he's just a better fucking man.
And the other thing, and then the other thing that we got to think about too is Cub was on a 4-fight losing streak.
He needed this one bad.
He really needed this one. He's got 3 kids now. I mean, he's fighting for a lot. There's a lot of pressure on this dude to stick to the game plan, keep it simple, and get out of there with this win. He didn't get crazy. He didn't try to, out grapple the grappler. He just kept it to what he knew and stayed out of the danger zone. So, I mean, like Fred's saying, you got to give it up to the veteran. Like, he did the veteran move and beat a newcomer. Kron Gracie is going to do better because of this,
Right.
Like, he's going to get better because of this. It exposed what he needs to work at and all that stuff and where his flaws are.
Right.
It's a win-win.
Right. Okay. So Daniel asked, okay, what's next for Kron? And I think it's this right here. He said he wanted a tough competition. I think he needs to take a step back and work those takedowns. I think that takes some time. Take the rest of the year off. Maybe come back in mid 2020 with like a top 15 guy, not top 10, like between 10 and 15. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe even in 15. I don't know.
I think he's still got a ton of upside.
Yeah. How about the guy that twitches? What's his name? The leg lock specialist that just beat BJ Penn.
Ryan Hall.
Ryan Hall.
Yeah.
I would be down to watch that, to be honest with you. But that's just the jiu-jitsu guy in me. Like, I really want to see that, but I want to see that in like ADCC rules would be legit. But in a fight, why not?
Although Ryan Hall seems like he might be a little bit more
Gary Tonin,
like on the upside than that.
Gary Tony needs to make his way over from 1FC, but I'd love to see that guy fight. MMA guy says Kron will be a beast in a few years, 100%. And should do Kron versus Ryan Hall. Exactly. All right. Let me just go over some of the results in the rest of the fight, and because I want to get to one in particular that was kind of hard to watch after a while. Nico Price knocks out James Vick first round. Yeah. That was the up kick from hell.
Okay, quick.
Go ahead.
Does he get cut?
Who?
James Vick.
James Vick.
Maybe.
How many is that in a row?
I think it's 4 in a row. I think.
Ooh,
knockouts.
Yep.
Yeah, knockouts.
Oh, that's hard.
Fighter too, man. But yeah, I mean, it's just
You're right.
wrong division, bro. Maybe. Very well, maybe.
Oh man, I lean to give him one more chance against like a not top 15
You know
guy,
what?
but
You know what?
who knows?
I'll take it a step further.
Hmm.
I don't know if he does get cut, but if I'm him and his manager, I think I cut myself. I think
Okay,
I cut myself. No, I'm serious. I think I cut myself,
it's a good point.
and I either go to LFA or maybe even the Bellator, try to get some wins under my belt, get my stock. Always having the intention to come back,
Right.
back and tell Dana White and them like, look, dog, shit's went a little hectic. I went out of my contract. I'm gonna go do my thing. I'm gonna rack up some wins, and then when the time is right, I'm gonna call y'all and I'll be back. And if you do that, Dana White has proven they've shown that if you do that and you build up your shit right, they will take you back with no questions asked. And if you go out and you win, certainly if you win a Bellator belt or some shit or some shit like that, and you can sneak out that clause, they'll be happy as larks to have him back. So I think that might not be a bad move for James Vick at this point.
Would you be okay with him either going on the Dana White Contender Series or
To come back?
or maybe whatchamacallit, a season of Tough?
No.
Like just to give him
Not
something where
tough.
it's like
Not
He
tough.
won his first 9 fights in the
Yeah,
UFC.
right. He's a better.
You just bring him back.
scorer. Maybe risen or won or something, but no. He deserves it.
Okay.
Hey, listen, make no mistake about it. James Vick's a bad motherfucker, man. I mean, the fights that he's lost, they've been brutal knockouts. But again, and Booker's a bad motherfucker. Shit.
So let me going off that point real quick. So MDP says Vic should definitely hang it up. 3 knockouts out of the last 4. Save some brain cells, especially considering what happened to the boxer Patrick Day. Rest in peace, Patrick Day. If you guys don't know, a fight over the weekend, brutal knockout, head injury, had to have emergency brain surgery and all that, and he went to a coma and unfortunately did not make it. He passed away earlier today. So rest in peace there, Patrick Day. That's the dangers of the fight game, man. But here's the thing. Unbroken makes a really good point. He's only been fighting killers. Those 4 knockouts, like Fred said, Dan Hooker, Paul Felder decisioned them, so he didn't knock him out. But and then Justin Gaethje knocked him out. Yep. He took plenty of damage. We didn't get knocked out, but those are killers. They're not like pushovers.
Okay.
Man.
Here's a question then. Do you think he would be one of the guys that would benefit from moving up a weight division? Because it also seems like cutting weight. He's a big boy.
No, this is a 170 fight.
This was at 170.
Right. But I'm saying like you guys are saying, taking some time off and maybe even bulking up a little bit. Yeah, even moving up to 185. Because if his chin is really deteriorated, that extra weight always helps. We know that. Like Fred said, get a little bit of fights under your belt, move up a little bit. Look at who was it? Krokop. Was it Krokop? That went all the way up to heavyweight, was fighting at heavyweight for a while. His chin has held up pretty good. Anthony Johnson, also another guy who went up, benefited from that.
Listen,
I got the Luke Rocco syndrome right now.
Well, I think that these situations are so difficult to talk about because I think they're also different. Look, did y'all hear that fucking kick that landed on James Vick?
Dude,
it sounded like a goddamn softball getting knocked out of the park.
They replayed it.
Fucking slept him. Like, I think certain shots land on guys. When Rashad landed that overhand right on Chuck that slept him, didn't mean Chuck was cutting too much weight. It
killed him.
You get hit with a certain shot, you're going to sleep. And sometimes it's just about the placement. Look at Stipe and DC's first fight,
right?
And then the second fight. I don't think it had nothing to do with fucking weight or being in shape or no shit. It's just like that first one landed right on the money, and then the second time he took dozens of them. So I don't think that's it. And quite frankly, I don't think he needed to move up to 70 in the first place, per se. Like Jeremiah said, he won like 130 fights in a row at lightweight. And then he got slept by Gaethje. What are you going to do? Gaethje's a tough little creature. Again, I think worst comes to worst. I think he should just get outside the UFC, crush a few tomato cans. Bro, MMA is such a gnarly sport. Boxing very much is elegant compared to us. We are Neanderthal. Like, we're very much just bleed. At least in boxing, they'll be like, yo, okay, cool. We're cool. Look, who the fuck did Tyson Fury just fight? And then
fast food fight.
These are fucking massive stars, and they just flat give them a tomato can, and nobody even complains about it. If James Vick hasn't afforded the right to crush a couple tomato cans and get his skills back up and just kind of almost do live sparring matches or something. You know what I mean? Like get some real smokers in the ring. He deserves it, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Go crush a couple cans, go to Bellator, win a couple big fights, and then come back to the UFC reinvigorated. He's a big guy. He can make 55. He's tall for that division. He's got a lot of skills. I don't think he needs to hang it up or nothing like that. Now, with that being said, if he goes to LFA and fucking Joe Blow sleeps him in the first round, we'll revisit this discussion. But if he goes up there and he starts beating people and looking good, it is what it is. Listen, when Andre Arlovsky, I'm sorry, I know I'm ranting. But when Andre Arlovsky pulled that bullshit that he pulled a couple years ago, he was outside the UFC getting slept by nobodies. Yeah. Next thing I know, he was a fucking cunt hair away from getting a championship fight in the UFC heavyweight division. Anything can happen in this sport. You don't want to write people off too early.
It's all mental. He needs a couple wins. Vic does. He was real tentative in the very first round. Head straight up, back. He was getting caught off the gate, and I was like, "Oh man, it's just a matter of time."
Yeah. So here's a good one. Tony said, "Don't stand up in the guard is my biggest takeaway from Price vs. Vic. Stay on your knees." Yeah. I mean, staying close and dropping bombs constantly, or get the fuck out of there. But don't stand at range of that fucking foot. You will get knocked the fuck out. What's up?
I agree with Fred, and I think, but I also think you also have to temper that, because what if he goes down to LFA and he runs into like a Conor McGregor on his way up? You know what I'm saying?
That's what happens.
It's all perspective, right? Because now we know, even though some of his earlier losses, like we're all saying, those are some savage dudes that are on their way towards a title shot. You know, Gaethje's on his way towards a title shot, basically. You got Dan Hooker, who's been looking amazing recently. These guys are just guys that in the moment you think, man, he shouldn't have lost to that guy. And then when you look at their resume later on, you're like, wow, yeah, that guy is a beast, So I don't know.
All right. Well, yeah. Let me get through the rest of the card before we get to the one fight I want to talk about. Mackenzie Dern loses to Amanda Ribas by decision. Matt Ferloa takes the decision there. Eric Anderson gets a decision in the third round. In the fucking fight. Ryan Spann takes over, beats Devin Clark by submission round 2. Alex Morono takes a decision over Max Griffin. Figueiredo submits Tim Elliott fucking early and quick and shit. That was fun. Marlon Barrow with another knockout win over Andrew Ewell. Miguel Baeza against Hector Aldana gets the second round TKO. Marvin Vettori and JJ Aldrich both get decision wins. But the fight that was fucking hard to watch after a minute. And look, it took a long ass time for this dude to get taken out. It took a long ass time. But Mike Davis knocking out Thomas Gifford in the third round. Who wasn't screaming at the TV for the corner? And I got to give ELC credit for reminding me of this one. But because she says that, she goes, Gifford is a perfect example why fighters need to be protected from themselves. Who wasn't screaming at the corners, at the ref, or somebody to stop that shit? Even Michael Bisping was losing his fucking mind, Fred.
Yeah.
All right,
go ahead.
Quick, Fred. Just to put it out there, the commission pulled the ref after that fight and did not allow him to ref after that fight. Now, Fred, I want you to go ahead and go on your rant, but I also want you to answer. Who should have been the person to step in and stop this fight? Go ahead.
Unequivocally. Is that a word?
Yeah.
The ref. And listen, I know what everybody's going to say. The corner should throw the towel in too. And they should have. Mm-hmm. But here's the deal, right? A, the fighter ain't going to quit, right? That's why they're fucking fighters. They're alpha male fucking lions roaming this planet. Of course, they're not going to quit on live TV, no matter what. Now, for me, and I'm not saying this makes it right, but for me, I feel like a little bit of that extends to your team and your coach. They don't want to quit on you either, man. They should, but they don't want to let you down. And who knows? Maybe they've seen you do something in the gym, or they've seen you do something in the amateur fight, and they're like, nah, I fucking know this kid. Maybe they know something we don't. Quite frankly, they're also partial to the situation.
Right.
They know this kid. They know, like, man, they know what a win or a loss means. The motherfucking cocksucking ref is there for this specific reason, because he's not partial. He doesn't got to go home with the kid. He does. Look, that kid might not train with the fucking manager or the coach anymore. Again, not making it right, but I see the coach's point. Like, fuck, I throw in this towel. This kid will hate me for the rest of his fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Not making it right, but I get why they might be reluctant to do it. Hell, The only time I can ever think of anybody fucking throwing a towel in an MMA, and this is how great is this? None other than the great Nick Diaz. And I'll tell you why. You know why Nick Diaz is able to throw the towel in when Nate's taking that beating from Josh Thompson? Because they're real ass motherfuckers.
Yep.
And when you're a real motherfucker, you know, okay, we lost this one. We're real enough to say that. We lost this fight. That's my brother. Chill. The reality is a lot of these fighters just ain't there yet. They don't want to quit. They don't want to look like a bitch. The Diaz brothers know they ain't no fucking bitches. So they're like, fuck it. It is what it is. Most teams and fighters, especially young fighters, like a Thomas Gifford that most of us have never heard of, they're not throwing in that towel, man. They're just not going to do it. And that is precisely why you have a referee there to override that shit, to be like, all right, you know what? I've seen enough. And I would rather, as the ref, be like, fuck it. I stopped it too early. He looked like he was bad. His eyes were rolling, yada, yada. Then let this happen. And homeboy looked like he got killed by a sniper rifle. And I'm the just bleed dickhead. I'm the guy that's like, yo, nobody asked you guys to be fighters. Like, I'm not trying to be cunty, but I don't really feel sorry when they get, I don't want to see nobody get hurt. But again, this is their job. They sign up to be fighters. You should be in there. But when you're clearly outgunned, it's the referee's job to save you from yourself. That's you got one job, dog. What the fuck?
Right. Look, man. To me, it was the ref. The ref should have stopped that shit. That's literally his job description is to protect the fighters. That's literally like you gave the Nick Diaz example. That dude knew right away. Like, look, hey, Nate can be mad at me all he fucking wants to, okay? But I'm saving his ass from any more unnecessary damage. You know what I mean? And that's a great example. And in boxing, it happens. It's rarer these days, but it happens still where they stop the fight. And unfortunately, I think with that, not Patrick Day, rest in peace, but there was one before that where a young man died anyway, and he still the fight was stopped early by the corner. But
I know we've had a couple people die in MMA, but how many people has died in boxing here recently? We can't have that shit in MMA. They already look at us like it's fucking cockfighting. You know what I'm saying? But they got to get on this shit, man. Imagine how many boxers in a year died? 4, 3?
I think this year already, I can't off the top of my head, 2 or 3.
What if that happened in the UFC? How much?
Oh, dude, they'd be getting banned left and right. You wouldn't see another MMA fight on TV ever again.
For real?
Yep.
And 100%. Gracie threw in the towel against Sakuraba. Hardcore MMA for you there. But they fought 90 fucking minutes.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
that was fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, you gotta, the ref, it's the ref's job to get in there and do that shit, man. Like ELC says, the corners are too close to the situation. The ref needs to stop it. Last light in the defense.
That's exactly
what it is. That's his job.
It ultimately falls solely on that cock.
Well, 100%.
And the problem is too is that you also have people around the octagon, like the doctor, other referees. There are other people that could have assisted or helped this referee to make that decision sooner than to let this happen to this kid. But ultimately, it's the ref who runs the show, and he's in there and he's seeing this stuff, and he had several opportunities to stop this fight, even in between rounds. A lot of people are saying, well, he was waiting for the corner to do it. Well, the corner didn't do it. Just end it. Like you got it. Like these refs, and I think that's what I think we should all appreciate. A guy like Herb Dean, he'll stop a fight early, and he doesn't care because he's protecting the fighter. Whether they thought they were out, whether they weren't, whether they had more in the tank, it doesn't matter because he's making the decision to protect them from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They need to give doctors more authority to step in and stop the fucking fight if the ref's not stopping it and the corner's not throwing the towel in.
Hey, so after the fight, he posted he tweeted.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm fine, guys. Got cleared by the doctors last night. CT scans came back good. X-rays came back fine. I'm just all bruised and swollen." Now, I don't know about y'all, but if y'all can see this picture, don't this motherfucker look dead?
That looks like an autopsy photo.
It looked like he got beat to death by some Crips. Like, this is what happens. This is what Tekashi 6ix9ine is going to look like when the Bloods get a hold of him.
Oh, he's going to get fucked up. All right. Just going over the things here. Let's see. There's a lot of different opinions here. The corner needs to make a decision. Then talking about the refs having stopped. Then refs should stop every Justin Gaethje fight. Sometimes I think so too, man. Shit. Oh shit, Gifford's dad was in his corner too. Ooh, fuck. All right, that's a little different. Let's see what else there is. Oh, here we go. Totally agree, Fred. The commission needs to make sure these refs are aware of the authority they have and don't have over the fights. Some of these guys don't know.
Also, to be fair, with the Justin Gaethje comparison
Right.
or reference, Gaethje's a highly ranked fighter. Who the fuck is Thomas Gifford? All due respect, he's a new guy. Like,
Right.
you know, we know Justin Gaethje can take a little bit of a beat. It's almost like in those championship fights, you're supposed to give those guys and girls a little bit more leeway. They were in a championship fight. Clearly, these motherfuckers know what they're doing. If it's your first or second fight in the UFC and you come in and you're getting the goddamn dog piss beat out of you, yo, ref, what the fuck? Might be a little soon for this guy to be here. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. All right. What else? Oh, here we go. Raider says that 4 boxers have died. I just read. That's a lot.
That's not good. That's
a
that
lot.
Shit happened in the UFC, man. They wouldn't sanction us hardly nowhere.
Dude, it would stop.
and I think the big thing that Eddie pointed out too was even though a corner stopped a fight in one of those instances, the guy still ended up dying because he took such a barrage of damage. So imagine those guys are boxers. You know, they have that 10 count, all that stuff. You know, those little rounds, all that stuff. It's still that accumulative damage when they're training. All that stuff goes into it. You know, and here's the thing. People are like, oh, well, they get CT scans like that guy is saying, oh, I passed all the medicals. Michael Bisping had one eye and he passed all his medicals.
You know, bad motherfucker that guy is.
Yeah, for real, man. You got to reevaluate Michael Bisping.
The UFC better evaluate their doctors.
Yeah.
How in the fuck he passed anything with one eyeball?
Real.
Goddamn bullshit. I mean, Jesus Christ, if they say, hey, Mike, take your glasses off and come here for a minute. Oh, that eyeball real. What the fuck?
Yep. Shine a light in that bitch. It ain't dilating.
Talking about I got my secrets. My secrets. He must have been fucking the fat pig that does the evaluation. How is it possible?
Anyway, all right. As well. So that's gonna be it for UFC Tampa. Let's talk a couple things here. The one that was probably gonna be quicker. GSP one talking about. He always every 5 minutes seems like he's kind of I'll come back against the fight against Khabib. And but nobody cares. He keeps repeating it every few days. He just comes out like, "Yeah, if I could be." And I know they're asking him and everything, but at some point, it's like, dude, like I'm tired of hearing it. I legit am tired of hearing about GSP wanting to come back against fucking Khabib. Like, dude, move on, bro.
I had this argument with somebody the other day. If he wants to fight Khabib, he better do it now. His ass is getting old, and he was clearly a little slower than he used to be when he fought Bisping. If he wants to get it done, he better get it done now.
Well, listen,
I don't see him steamrolling like everybody thinks.
Well,
it just might be me.
He's got one major problem beyond that. Tony Ferguson.
Exactly.
All due respect to GSP, we don't really want to see that fight. We'll take it.
Fuck George.
We'll take it, but what we really want is Tony Khabib. Now, after that works out, then maybe we'll talk with George. I tell you what, George, better hope. I'll tell y'all, I know y'all know I gotta speak for my boy. George better hope that Conor don't sign to fight Justin.
Oh God.
Look, stuck my dick. It's true. He better hope that Conor don't fight Justin, and by some chance of the MMA gods, Conor starches Justin in the first round. George will be a distant memory.
Conor's fighting Frankie. Did y'all see that shit?
I know he suggests. No, he's not. He's suggesting it, and I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm pretty sure Frankie's fighting Aljo at 35.
They both verbally agreed, and what fight did we just now see that was made off of verbally agreed? Anthony Pettis, Nate Diaz, but this is Frankie Conor.
I hope not. I mean, I hope not. Listen. As much as I love to ride Conor's nuts, if he fights Frankie, it's going to be hard to justify him getting any sort of title shot based on that one. He has to fight Justin Gaethje. I mean, that's the one. It's enough with the horse shit. That's it.
Better watch out, Fred. You're going to lose your money there. Your check's not going to
lose.
This is Conor's way of saying he needs a tune-up fight. He just.
They need to give him somebody. I just don't think fucking. And we'll talk about that here in a second. ELCN. I saw your message. Go ahead.
If you want a tune-up fight, take George. Fight George St. Pierre.
Why not? Get that money.
I mean, I'm serious. Like fighting Frankie
Not a
Edgar.
fight.
That's not the fight that we were wanting for Conor.
Keep in mind, GSP will take his ass fucking down. It'll almost look like the Habib fight. Almost. That's bad.
Conor's look. Say what you want about Conor. Conor's always been about taking chances.
Now
you can never say what you want, but like he did not have to take the Habib fight. He wanted to take that fight. I would not. If they could do the George fight, I would. Listen, think about it. Right? It's all or nothing with Conor. If he does come back and knock George out by some crazy, if he pulls a Jorge Masvidal, George St. Pierre, massive. He low key becomes bigger than Habib all of a sudden. And
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like it. So don't rule nothing out, Jack.
He better get in the gym. Quit raping bitches in SUVs.
And exactly what's going on here.
Fucking fact.
Was Conor arrested again for rape? We don't know if he was arrested, but he's been accused of it for I think it's the second time now.
Yep.
Okay, no, real quick, right? Exactly. So I gotta clear this up. In Ireland, it is not legal to release a name when they're accused of something like that. It is being described as a prominent Irish sports star. But who the fuck else can you name from Ireland that's a sports star? And don't give me that dude from fucking Bellator that's like a Conor wannabe. That doesn't count. Okay. It's more than like it's Conor McGregor. But let's just, for the sake of argument, and someone in the comment section, let me know if it's been like cleared up that it is Conor for sure that has been accused. But let's say it's him.
It is. And they said he went back into the club. They said they kicked him out of the club or whatever, but it has been, from what I've heard, that it was Conor.
Oh boy. Okay. So let's say that's real. We'll work with in the context that it is him that's been accused again. Fuck the fight. Can he stay out of trouble for fucking 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, man.
Yeah, and it's not cute, man. At a certain point, again,
it's old.
The resident Conor nut hugger, you got to knock this shit off at some point, man. I mean, you got to, at the end of the day, yes, of course, his bravado and all these things is what made him famous. But at the end of the day, it was him winning fights.
Mm-hmm.
It was him starching Jose Aldo in 7 seconds or 9 seconds or whatever that really captivated. It was him beating Chad Mendez. It was him beating Eddie Alvarez. Fuck, it was even him boxing Floyd Mayweather. Even though he lost, motherfuckers have such a short memory. Like, it's almost like George Bush after 9/11. People forget that we was fucking with George after 9/11 because we were so patriotic. Like, he came out and said some bullshit. We were fucking with dude. When Conor was going into that Floyd fight, he was our guy. Like, that was MMA's guy. Since then, he lost. He fucking apparently raped a couple broads through a fucking bus. He's became the biggest heel in MMA. But at one point, he was kind of our guy. What the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? He needs to fight.
Honestly, though, Fred, I don't like Conor at all. I don't even like to mention him on the show until he's actually doing something. But don't you think he's still kind of our guy? Like, it seems like a lot of people ask about Conor when his next fight is happening. What do people want to, like, who wants to fight Conor? Like, he's still a topic in the sport, even though he's not here. So I think he's still our guy, our focal point, and he needs to do something with that.
I don't know.
Less and less. He is, but each day, each week, each month, it becomes less and less. Look, the biggest fight in the sport right now doesn't have his name attached to it. It's Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. And ironically enough, they're two characters that are somewhat like him. Yeah. Boisterous, gangster, outgoing, like,
just not raping anybody and they're real gangster.
Jorge took Conor's place, kind of like, hey, Nate, I'll be your Huckleberry. Right. I'll be the other bad guy for you since this fucking jerk off's blowing, acting weird. I'll win a fight or two and I'll jump right in there and we'll do this thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what made Conor and Nate so special, was that they were somewhat similar. And now you got that same kind of thing with Jorge and Nate. Like, they're those gangster type characters. So ultimately, fucking putting a cap on any Conor talk, because we don't need to waste no more time on this. We'll get to the fights that are coming up, the good ones.
Yep.
He needs to fight soon.
Yep. Bottom line.
Real quick though. You guys realize that every time he tweets and does stuff, it's still news, even outside of our bubble. That's why I say that I think he's still our focal point here in MMA, and he needs to do something soon, because like you said, Fred, it's starting to go down and it's dimmer and dimmer, and with these accusations, that could definitely break Conor McGregor.
Conor, and I hesitate to call him a focal point because I don't think he is. I think he's a sideshow at this point, and it's like, because we were all nostalgic to the point of remembering what he was when he first came in and when he was at his top of his game, like when he was like huge and every word he said was printed by bjpen.com and all those other clickbait sites. I just gave him a fucking plug, but whatever. But all these other clickbait sites and shit, and honestly, I think stuff like what Conor's done now though is the reason why the blue corner exists. So you guys know what I'm talking about, MMA Junkie and all that, and all the TMZ shit and MMA Newswire on fucking MMA fighting and TMZ and all this shit. He is because of him that shit because he's a fucking mess in my opinion. But let me see. There was something I wanted to put on here. Oh, how can he even get into any country now to fight? Hasn't been convicted. So,
yeah.
Or even charged for that matter. Conor's 100% for the casuals. I'll say 98%, but yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's just hope that if he did something, he pays for it, and if he didn't, just get your head out of your ass, dude, and fucking get in a fight. All right. This weekend, this Friday, a card that Jesse will not be watching from TD Garden in Boston on ESPN2. Yeah, the entire thing's on ESPN2. So if you don't have it, find yourself a stream. Go over the prelim card real quick. Just a few names that are on here. Kevin Holland, you guys have heard it before. Court Magisto fighting. Kyle Bochniak's fighting in the undercard and the prelims. Meatball Molly McCann's fighting Charles Rose against Manny Bermudez is a low-key firefight. Then in the main card, Deron Wynn, you guys, if you recognize the names, because DC is he's one of his training partners against Darren Stewart. Macy Barber, the chick sliding into Paige Van Zandt's husband's DMs, taking on Gillian Robertson. Joe Lozon still doing it against Jonathan Pierce, so you know that's going to be a fun one. The fight Jesse refuses to watch, and Greg Hardy against Ben Sassoli. Then co-main event, these guys finally hate each other. Yair Rodriguez against Jeremy Stevens. We'll talk about it in a second. And the main event, Chris Weidman making his 205 debut against Dominic Reyes. Again, that's a Friday night card, folks. Friday, not Saturday. Weigh-ins will hit you tomorrow. You'll be like, what the fuck? And then Friday night, you'll be like, oh, shit, I'm going to miss it. So there you go, folks. So let's talk about which fight I want to talk about first.
You want to talk about the Macy Barber fight? Oh, okay. I was going to say,
you want to talk about Greg Hardy?
So as we're saying, the main event, the co-main event, which one?
Okay, for all y'all that don't know, Jesse can't stand Greg Hardy because of all the shit that he's done. 100%. But yeah, all right. Just so y'all know, Greg Hardy's on that card. He's talking all this shit about he can knock everybody out.
And I'm not gonna watch any card that he's on.
Yeah, Jesse refused to watch any card he's on, no matter how good it is. If he's on it, he ain't watching it, and he sticks to his fucking word. Okay, so Jesse's gonna miss this one, but it's all good. He'll get the results online later or something. But
I'll just go for a long run that day.
There you go. Yair Rodriguez against Jeremy Stevens. Obviously, that one's supposed to go down in Mexico. We all know the famous eye poke now. Jeremy couldn't continue. Now they really do hate each other. They've been talking shit, call each other bitches and shit. It's fucking insanity. But we're all sitting here going like, yeah, keep that up. It's going to be fucking crazy. Fred, what do you think?
I love it, man. I love it. Nothing funner than a fight with some real heat behind it, right? And I mean, two guys that got a lot of great skills. It's a very compelling matchup stylistically too. Like, I think it's obvious, right? Like, you know that fucking Yair is going to be throwing some spinning shit. He's going to try to keep the distance, throw his tricky, weird spinning tactics. The thing that always makes any Jeremy Stevens fight interesting, though, is he only needs one. He's one of those fighters that only takes one shot to and there's the famous line where Conor did the "Who the fuck is that guy?" and it went viral. But if you go back and watch that clip, Jeremy Stevens was spitting real shit. Jeremy Stevens was like, when I hit motherfuckers, they go to sleep. When this guy hits them, he TKOs them. I love Conor, but that's low-key true. Mm-hmm. Conor does have a way of just kind of knocking people to the ground and slowly just kind of bop, 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 bop until the fight's over. If Jeremy Stevens connects on you cleanly, you sleep. The fucking goddamn toes stiffen up like you just busted the nut of your life. Like, Jeremy will put you to sleep. Now, Yair has great head movement, great footwork, blase. So that's what makes this fight so intriguing. It basically comes down to, can Jeremy Stevens land that one big punch? Because we already know what time it is. Jeremy may be able to out-wrestle Yair, but he ain't smart enough to. And now that he's actually mad, he sure as shit is not. Now, if Yair starts catching him, he may start wrestling then. But when this fight first starts, Jeremy is going to be trying to knock his fucking head off. And if he connects, he will sleep Yair for sure. The question is, can Yair avoid that big shot and land enough shots of his own to knock out Jeremy on in between? I'm an idiot, so I'm going to go with Yair. I'm going to say that he can. I hate doing shit like this, though, because it's like, I want to see my guy win, but he has to do so much more. So the whole fight, as Yair is going to be landing these little front kick teeps to the knee and shit, I'm going to be shitting bricks while Jeremy's swinging for the fences thinking, goddamn, one wrong, just like with Israel Adesanya and the Robert Whittaker fight. I think it's somewhat like that. Robert doesn't swing quite as hard as Jeremy does, but it's the same type of vibe. If Yair cannot get caught, it's his fight to win. But boy, if he does get clipped by Jeremy, he's taking a fucking nap, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Jeremiah, what do you think about this fight, man? This is like a hardcore fan's dream, honestly. Two dudes that have experience, especially when Jeremy Stevens has knocked a fucking myriad of motherfuckers out, and they're angry at each other. It's fucking perfect.
I can't stand Jeremy, but I think, like Fred said, I think he's going to come out swinging like Cody Garbrandt, and Yair's got the speed advantage, and he is a good counter striker, and I think he's going to catch Jeremy.
Word. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm never. I don't know. I think I like Yair in this fight too. I think he picks him apart. Jesse, I know you're not going to watch, but at least this one, are you going to pick anybody?
You're Mexican. Mexican. Anyway,
yeah,
you know what?
Exactly
I agree with you guys, but I think the thing that's really, really good for Yair in this whole fight, and it's also a bad thing, but I think it works best for him, is that it's a 3-rounder instead of a 5-rounder.
Right.
So in these 3 rounds, he's able to just go at a higher clip than he would have to in a 5-round fight.
Right.
So I think he'll probably be able to keep up a better pace. It is much more dangerous because that also means Jeremy Stevens can also just swing for the fences for 3 rounds, and he's probably not going to get tired swinging those melons around and try to knock out Yair. But like Jeremiah just said, he's got great head movement. He's a great counter striker, and I think Yair can avoid that big, huge punch long enough. I think 3 rounds, he can survive 3 rounds and win a decision probably.
All right. Real quick, before we go on to the main event, MMA Gods gives you props, Jesse. Respect to sticking to your guns. There you go. All right, let's talk about. We'll go with the comments first on this main event. Raider says, I think Reyes is going to lose by WrestleFuck. I don't even want to hear people talking about Reyes with Jones at all. He's quite a few fights away from that. I'd have to agree with that. Like I said, I don't want to see Jones anywhere but heavyweight. That's kind of it on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Weidman versus Reyes. Weidman, obviously wrestler, former champion at 185, first fight at 205, and Reyes is a bad motherfucker on the feet. So it's kind of, the styles matchup and all that. Wrestler versus, I think mostly striker. Reyes is mostly striker, right? Has he ever gone to the ground? Or have you ever seen him?
No, not to the best of my knowledge.
No, really.
All right, give me your pick there, Jeremiah. What do you think about this fight?
I don't know, man. I've been thinking all week about this fight, and I really have no clue how it's going to go. Like Raider said, Weidman's going to shoot. Weidman's going to take him down.
Yep.
And what do we know about Dominic? He starches people on the feet. We've never seen him on the ground, so I don't know what the fuck's going to happen in this fight, to tell you the truth. But I'm picking Reyes.
All right, there you go, Jesse.
I'm picking Reyes just for the fact that this is New York, right? Like in the New York area.
Oh fuck! No, it's in Boston, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm still gonna go with Reyes. You know what? I think I have lost faith in Chris Weidman because he seems to have a good game plan, and he seems to implement it pretty well. And then for some reason, he goes off script and he gets KO'd. He just loses concentration and he just gets slept. I mean, I don't know if it's just that he was able to achieve a high level of success once or twice in beating Anderson Silva, and then just has not been able to achieve that anymore. And that was his one shiny moment. And when he's an old guy in the retirement home, he's gonna have that little clip of him knocking at Anderson Silva playing in the loop. Or if it's been a slump and he's gonna get better. I just don't know, man. Like Jeremiah, it's such an intriguing fight because you just don't know what you're gonna get out of both of these guys. So I'm gonna go with Reyes.
Real quick, MMA guy just made me laugh on this one. He goes, so apparently everyone in the conversation is picking Stevens to win. So the comments, KW panel, yeah, here. I guess someone's eating crow on Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Right.
So we'll see. We're either all gonna look really stupid, or we're all gonna be talking mad shit.
The Mexican influence has won over on this side apparently.
That's what it is, bro. Anyway, yeah. The thing is, so I'm with. I'm taking Reyes in this fight. I think Weidman's kind of like showing that he can get knocked the fuck out. I mean, look, I think Romero ended his shit, right? And when Romero hit him with that knee in the head, I mean, no one believes in Weidman anymore. But I'm with you. If he has that whenever he comes in, he has a fucking game plan. He always seems to bail on it now. You know what I mean? Always. When's the last time we saw him actually stick to a game plan? When he won the belt against Anderson. He didn't go too far, didn't go too crazy. Sure, Anderson played a bit of a fool and all that and got knocked the fuck out. But he kind of looked like he kept to his wits for the most part. Last few fights, not so much, I don't think. I mean, perfect example, when he lost to Luke Rockhold, lost the belt to Luke Rockhold. Why the fuck are you throwing spin in anything?
Oh my god.
Go ahead. Are you there? Okay, yeah. So listen, here's the deal, man. That's true, but that's also a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Like, he was arguably winning that fight up to that point.
Yeah, he was, for sure.
And then the Romero fight, it was closer, but he was arguably winning that fight up until the flying knee from hell.
Okay.
And quite frankly, for all of me, Dominic Reyes is highly unproven. His wins are against what? OSP and Volkan Ozdemir, if I'm not mistaken. All due respect to those cats. Yeah.
Right.
Clearly, he can knock Chris out, but I think if Chris can get a hold of him and drag him down, to Jeremiah's point earlier, we haven't really seen him put on the ground.
Right.
Chris presumably should be in great shape if he doesn't go crazy like Luke and try to bulk on a ton of weight, and he just keeps a little bit of his gas tank at 205. I think Chris Weidman might be a bit of a problem there. I mean, I realize that he's on a bit of a skid, but who has he lost to? I mean, I'd be tripping. There's so many fights these days. He lost to Yoel. He got knocked out by Yoel, and then he got finished by who else? Weidman, that is.
Oh, Rocco.
Rocco. Is that it?
Kelvin
Fishman.
Yeah, Kelvin did.
No.
No.
He beat Kelvin.
He beat Kelvin.
Yeah,
wrestled him. Yeah.
So there you go.
See.
It's like it's one more though that we're missing.
That's not nothing.
Okay, here it is. Jacare KO'd him. He beat Kelvin. Gegard beat him. Yoel and Luke Rocco. Yeah, those three in a row.
Didn't finish him though, did he?
Yeah, TKO knee.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Either way, you cocksucking motherfuckers, those are still all elite fighters. I'm picking Chris Weidman. I say he looks good at 205. I say if Dominic Reyes doesn't catch him in the first round, Chris is going to be on him like white on rice, and I think that Chris Weidman makes a successful debut at 205. Fucking Luke Rockhold.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him feel like an asshole. My prediction: Weidman shoots for a takedown, eat the fucking knee, gets knocked the fuck out. That's it.
Be good.
All right.
Reyes is explosive. He's explosive. You got to give him that.
Right. All right, folks. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this one. Don't forget to tell me why Ali slapped Abe Kawa. Ali Abdelaziz apparently. So, I guess the police report was the one that was saying that he hit him with a closed fist, and then Abe's brother Maki Kawa, who leads that whole group, was saying like it wasn't a fucking closed fist; it was an open hand. Like, okay, so your brother got bitch slapped. Cool. Like that's much better. Okay.
Yeah.
And then apparently, Maki said, or I think it was him that Ali has done that, hit him before, and then apologized. And he thinks he only did it to avoid getting charges pressed. Didn't work this time. He's got charges pressed on him now. Fucking Ali is a fucking shady motherfucker, dude.
That's all right. Kobe said he's gonna get Trump to deport that ass.
To deport him, I fucking died laughing.
Ali, much no more.
I laughed so hard because I was like, dude, you're gonna do what? Like,
listen, y'all better stop playing with Kobe and
right.
Trump. Fuck around and get that shit done.
Hey, he got Trump and the one that looks like he got some kind of fucking issue with him. What was the other one? Don Jr. and then the other one that looks all weird.
Yeah.
Whatever the other guy's name, his brother's name is, but he got those motherfuckers to show up to the fight. Okay, so
he's White House, man. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
I gotta say quickly before we wrap up this episode, this week, just touching on that because that'll be the next big event. We'll have the bad motherfucker belt.
Yep.
There's a big part of me that is rooting for Colby to win against Usman and for Jorge to win against Nate,
Yes.
so we can
Maybe
get
not that part.
those two for the 170 belt, because I feel like that would just be fucking epic if we could end up in that situation where Jorge Masvidal is fighting Colby Covington for the fucking welterweight belt with the bad motherfucker belt. That would just be brilliant. I hope that happens just for my sake.
I get what you're saying. I want to see Colby against Jorge too for the belt.
Mhm.
I want to see Nate win against Jorge, but at this point, I'm like, fuck. But I know what
I
you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I'll
I
tell you
would
what.
love to see for the belt Jorge against Colby. I would love to see it, honestly.
Yeah. If Colby wins, I just want Jorge to be able to get that fight. That
Fuck
would
him up.
That's like a WWE fucking storyline, man. It
Look,
don't get much better than that.
I hate to admit this, but low key, I can't stand Usman. I just fucking can't.
Either, man. I can't either.
Something about him bothers me, and that's not to say that Colby that I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, go Colby. I'm just like, hey, look, if you can't go into that fight and both of you get an L,
Yeah,
I'll take Colby. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because more people hate that motherfucker. Usman's just like, whatever. But
I can't stand Usman, man. So
yeah,
fake. He's fake as fuck. Did y'all see the TMZ episode where they had Kelvin, Usman, Justin Gaethje, and Cejudo, and some other cat?
nah.
Couldn't bring myself to watch it, but I seen it. But no,
I heard about it.
Yeah.
What is that?
No,
Jeremiah,
go ahead.
what-
Go ahead,
okay,
Jeremiah.
yeah, Jeremiah, what do you say though? Like,
One of the guys asked if they locked the doors and everybody got in a fight, who would be the guy that would leave there? And they're all alpha males. And Usman was like, I gotta say, I think these guys would be in trouble. And I was just like, whatever, man.
I would have been like, hey, look, motherfucker, you know why it would be Justin Gaethje? Because everyone else be shooting for their lives. Okay, you can only take one dude down at a time, Usman, and hug him for a while.
And
all
then
right,
he was
Gaethje
sucking Izzy's dick bad on there too, boy.
Oh Jesus Christ. Oh well, yeah, they're both Nigerian, right?
Yeah,
Nigerian. That's what it is, man. Man, now John Jones is like, what did John Jones say recently? He's like, I release DC from being formerly released DC from being my pussy. Now it's Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh god, hey, John, shut the fuck up. Move up to heavyweight, fight Steve. I don't hear your shit no more. But
Eddie,
yeah.
For ELC, do you want to plug what's that guy's name that's doing the podcast and has all that information on Ali, all the shady stuff he's done?
Right.
Mike
something. Right, Mike Russell MMA. On Twitter at Mike Russell MMA. Look, a lot of people shit on Mike because he's the only one really talking about this shit and digging into all these background. If you look at it, it's his shit is super shady. So just read up Mike. Go to Mike Russell MMA. You can even tweet him and ask him, and he'll tell you. But he's got shit all over the place, and you will read up on Ali, and it's some shady fucking shit. And I'm talking about stuff that sounds like a fucking movie. It's not even like, it don't even sound real. It was a lot of people shit on him and everything. And Ali makes burner accounts and goes after Mike Russell and all that all the time. But go look at all that. Yeah, you'll get like another side of this shit. But it's psycho shit for real. It is like legitimately, it's stuff that makes me wonder like why the fuck more people aren't talking about this for real. All right. Anything else we need to hit before we go?
Real quick. Eddie and I are still trying to kill ourselves by running these 2 miles. But I haven't talked to you about this, Eddie, and I'm gonna ask you about this later. But there's a way we can do a challenge. So maybe we can set up a running challenge for next month. Where we can set up something where all of us can kind of run together. It's been cool having the motivation to run the 62 miles, 63 miles, whatever.
Right.
So if anybody wants to jump on that with us, let's do that.
All right, we'll talk about it after and see if we can figure something out.
All right,
go ahead for it.
For everybody that's still watching too, and for the panel, I want to do this. I was talking with Kyle about this earlier this week on the Not Safe for Work MMA show. I want to get everybody's opinion in the comment section that's watching right now, and your guys' opinion. Cringiest guy in MMA right now: Colby Covington or Henry Cejudo? Who is the king of cringe in MMA right now? Henry or Colby? Or if you have somebody else, go ahead and throw them out there.
Right.
In my opinion, it's definitely between those two. And for me, it's Colby. Just because of that fucking grin. Every time hey, Ariel, and he's got some dumb blonde whore with him. Good Lord, I can barely stand looking at that boy.
The only reason I will agree because Cejudo's kind of toned it down a little bit, but Kobe just keeps fucking going and going and going. It's nonstop with him. You talking about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There it is. There's the smile, man. And to be fair, the line about Matt Hughes and the train.
Man.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Funnier.
Sacrilege.
It's like, boy, he is bringing it.
That shit pissed me off.
When he said that, I was like, "How fucking dare you?" While I was laughing, but I was like, "How fucking dare you?"
But it's just like the ultimate cringe. Like, oh no, you did. What the fuck?
Jesse, who you picking in those two?
Yeah, it's got to be Colby. I mean, Cejudo to me is like funny, you know, like he's like the dad that's trying to make the jokes, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna go after the women's, and he takes pictures with them and stuff. Like he's like that dad that's trying to be cool for everybody. But Colby, he's just pushing the buttons, man. He's going hard in this, wearing his MAGA hat, you know, having the girls at media day. I mean, one of my favorite videos is the girl, like, I think he's doing an interview, and she's like, "Yeah, tell him, Kobe." I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, it's ridiculous, dude. He's cringy. Yeah, he's super cringy.
We are picking Colby, and I think we're picking him rightly. But boy, you got to hand it to Henry. That video where he's got the diapers and the fucking belts and just his little stinky looking face, and
dude,
Henry's pretty fucking cringy.
And he is my fucking pick, Henry fucking Cejudo. With the guy, every time the camera hits him, he hits that fucking face. It looks like he's holding in a fart or he's about to shit like a rock. Okay, every fucking time. I'm like, dude, no, stop it. Like, change your name to Smith or something, man. You're making us look bad a little bit here. Like, come on, dog. Like, Triple C. Okay, finally, you're playing on the Triple G thing. Fine. I want all the belts. I want to fight Amanda Nunes.
He could almost win it.
Right.
Weigh in with TJ.
Right. He's like, I want to fight against Zang, and I want to fight against fucking Bullet. And
he's dragging in Kelvin too. That's the worst part.
Oh, that's what got me over the top. That's literally why I'm picking Cejudo over Colby. Because it's like, now he's got Kelvin on this shit, and I'm like, oh god damn it. Like, I like Kelvin, but you're making it so I can't stomach the motherfucker. You know when Kelvin started doing that shit? When he had Cejudo's belt at the last Robert Whittaker, when Robert Whittaker pulled out of that last fight against him, and he walked around with Cejudo's belt talking about he's the champion now. Yeah. I'm like, oh god, you motherfucker. Cejudo's giving everyone his bullshit. But real quick, because I know Fred asked everybody for their opinion.
Yeah.
MMA guy's going Colby. Tony Hector's going Colby.
Coming to get Jess.
ELC Kobe 100%. ELC Kobe is vomit inducing. For some reason, Unbroken says Cejudo is a fucking man. Fair enough. And Cejudo trying to be funny and lighthearted. So there you go. Most people are basically everyone pick Colby except for me.
King of fucking cringe, ladies. I'm gonna put a poll up on Twitter too, so you fuckers
there you go.
Share it and vote, and we'll try to get MMA Twitter's opinion too, even though most of them are douchebags.
There you go. MMA Twitter's hard.
Before we go to this, got something to do with the last event.
Okay.
Them baby milk jugs though.
Bro. She gonna miss weight, bro. She gonna miss weight.
Yeah, bro. I'm talking about Dern.
Oh, Dern. I thought you were talking about Joanna.
Just had a baby. Hey, she slimmed down a lot. But
she fucking
soon, man. She had a baby. She's still I ain't even gonna say it.
Oh no, she right. I'm just saying, like,
her others were bouncing, but
yeah.
The other broad, that what's her name?
Rebus, Amanda Rebus.
Have y'all seen pictures of her?
Yep.
Yep.
She's literally a supermodel.
Yep.
Like she's like, you know, you say that about like, oh, she's such a pretty fuck for a fighter. That girl's literally beautiful. Like when you see her on, I seen it. I forget who it was. Somebody, I think it might have been fucking Chelsea or somebody's podcast. They showed a picture. I was like, God damn, she is literally beautiful. Mackenzie Dern's all right, but
I ain't got high on her.
She looks like a horse in the face compared to that broad.
Oh, compared to her? Yeah, I'm telling you. All right. Now that we've totally pissed off every woman ever that has any kind of dignity. Anyway, all right. It's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Jeremiah, throw out your social media, dude.
The Hardcore MMA Show on Twitter, the Hardcore MMA Group on Facebook, and I've fucking done away with Instagram.
You know what?
And the Hardcore MMA Show on YouTube.
There you go.
Real quick, Jeremiah posting the people that are trying to get into the group on Facebook and their retarded answers for the questions he has is just golden. It's golden, man. It's amazing.
The easiest questions ever.
Jeremiah, are you fighting again with the street beef shit? Are you trying to line up a fight for yourself, or what are you doing that?
I was, but I'm doing security now. So
okay.
November the 2nd, I don't know if I'm going the 2nd, but I know I'm going to the next event. But he said he might take me the 2nd. I'm flying out to Mike Tyson's ranch in Cali.
Nice.
Mike Tyson is permanent partners with Street Beefs now.
There you go.
Man.
Meta World Peace and Jen Spoiler. They about to blow up, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, I want to see one on our test. If y'all don't know, Meta World Peace is run our test. And if you guys don't want to know about them, just look up Mouse and the Pals and just press play on YouTube and enjoy yourself. All right, that fucker can fight.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, all right. Of course, you know us. All our shit is at Keyboard Wars MMA. SWAT 1983 for Jesse, at Kirby_MMA for Fred, at Elo32 for myself. Appreciate everybody. RepTheWarriors.com, SpecialPros.com. You guys know the usuals. We always throw these out. For myself, Jeremiah, Jesse, Fred, good night, and good night, Wilshire.
Yeah.
And this is the awkward.